Season awards to talk about as the Hudson County League announced the soccer division, all team recipients, as we're going to have the winter season just around the corner. We're going to preview the bowling season by having our two senior captains, Rocco Barone and Andrew Diaz, come on this week's episode to talk about the upcoming bowling season. We're going to talk about this and much, much more, including special guest on the way on this week's State of the Marauders podcast.
The drive, high arcing floater too strong. Rebound tapped around. The three to win the game, no good. And Prep survives. The Marauders have won their first sectional championship since 2014.
2-2 is in the air to right field. Going back is Infante. He makes the play. And St. Peter's Prep retains its glory on the diamond. The Marauders are your 2023 Hudson County Tournament champions.
2 seconds left. Cleared aside by Kirk. And we have a final. St. Peter's Prep, the kings of Hudson County for the first time since 2019. Downfield, Sayuo battling Lois. Sayuo onside. Sayuo delivers for St. Peter.
Here's Jude with 9, with 8, with 7. Sargent, score! Fake, pass, complete to Reese. That's gonna be the first down. That's gonna do it.
Welcome everyone to episode 133, sponsored as always by our loyal supporters on Patreon. Yes, our Patreon supporters, again, they do a great job in supporting the podcast week in and week out. And we have a lucky 17 members so far, including Joe Giglio, Susan Ballman, and Eric Zabrowski, who have subscribed to us. And, of course, we would love for you to give us your support of the State of the Marauders program by signing up today at patreon.com/State of the Marauders. Again, only $2 a month. What do you get with those $2 a month? Well, you get a full 7-day free trial of updates even before anything happens. So that's great. You get live updates right from your phone on any game or match that we are covering, right? Including, some results. So tomorrow we got bowling in action. We get those bowling results. You'll be the first one to know what happened in that bowling competition against Beloved tomorrow. You also get this podcast in video form right to your phone, and you get it as soon as it finishes. So you get it before anybody else does, because everyone else gets it Monday morning, 5 a.m. You're going to get it right after this recording. So again, you got a lot of stuff for $2 a month. Again. And so much more. So again, make sure you sign up today at patreon.com/State of the Marauders. Hello, everyone. I am your host once again for this evening. Not this evening. For essentially today. I am your host, Renato Rodriguez, of the class of 2010. No guests to talk about. So, we're going to get right into our news of the week. And our news of the week is going to be sponsored by our friends at the State of the Marauders Sports Reporters Club. All right. So, Ben, you're the student club president. Tell us about the State of the Marauders Sports Reporters Club.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Novosioluk, class of 2024, and I'm the president of the State of the Marauders Sports Reporters Club. If you're interested in sports media and prep athletics, this is the perfect club for you. Stay tuned for the morning announcements and activities fair once school begins for news on how to.
Thank you so much to Ben for providing that information. Again, we meet every E-Day in the Browning Learning Center. All right. If you want to be interested in promoting anything prep athletics, including updates, graphics, helping out the live streams, commentary, social media, much, much more. Again, make sure you sign up today by emailing me at rodriguezrspprep.org and joining the club meeting every E-Day in the Browning Learning Center. All right, so without further ado, let's talk about the news of the week. And we're going to start off our news of the week by talking about, once again, yes, we thought the season was over, but there was still one tiny little event that cross country had. A couple of our guys competed at the Northeast Nike Regionals. And I want to give a shout out to Tommy O'Brien, Liam Rocks, both competing in that event. Tommy ran a 17-13-10, and Liam Rocks right behind him, the 17-20-10. So again, great job, cross country guys. Now they're going to get ready for the indoor track season. So again, we wish them all the best as they get ready for indoor track. Okay, moving on. On our news of the week, we're going to talk about the soccer Hudson County All Division Awards. And look how many names. Look at all those names for the soccer guy. You talk about the freshman phenom, Phelps Cyro, getting first team. Andy Mayorga, one of the senior captains, great forward all year around, getting first team. John Carey in the midfield getting first team. Kobe Easy Coley getting first team in defense. Simon Yanez in that getting first team. All recognition. Again, that's 5 guys on first team. Jalen Reed, Lucas Santos, both honorable mentions in their respective positions. But, of course, the player of the year in Hudson County, let's give it up for number 7, Matt Sobrero. Congratulations to Matt on this accomplishment. And, of course, we want to leave out our coach of the year in Hudson County, the one, the only, Josh Jantis. Again, Josh Jantis, the all-time winningest head coach in prep soccer history. Again, congratulations to our Marauders who have been recognized as Soccer Hudson County All Division Award recipients. Also on this week's news, we got winter sports starting up. Ladies and gentlemen, we had tryouts last week. We had some hockey tryouts. There's head coach Brendan Roche with his team. You got some basketball tryouts as well. And, of course, you have the bowling tryouts. And this is a good segue because we're going to talk about the bowling season because we're starting up today on Monday. Yes. November 27th. The only team that is starting up this early is the bowling squad. They're going to take on beloved charter Hudson Bowling Lane's 4:30 start. Again, last year's team were tremendous. They went 12-3. Okay? So we'll keep that in mind. They went 12-3. 2 losses to Kearney and 1 to Bayonne. Okay? Kearney was in the playoffs as well. So, again, circle those 2 matches on the calendar right now. Well, technically 4 matches. You got Kearney on December 6th, Bayonne December 18th, and then Kearney on January 17th, and Bayonne January 20th. Again, all matches are Hudson Bowling Lanes. So stay tuned for the graphic on that. But the good news about this bowling team, ladies and gentlemen, is most of these guys are coming back from last year, right? They're hungry. Okay? Your senior captains, Rocco Barone and Andrew Diaz, were 2 of the highest guys on the team. I was Luca Barone, talk about Xavier Muniz as a freshman, Gavin Rutledge as well, coming back. So we brought in the bowling team to talk with us. Yes, we brought in. Who do we bring in? Well, we brought in 2 of the senior captains. Okay, we bring in Rocco Barone and Andrew Diaz to talk to us about the upcoming year with Ignacio Morrow, class 2025, talking to them about everything that's going to happen this year in bowling. So, guys, let's take it away.
Andrew Diaz and Rocco Barone. How are you guys today?
We're doing good.
Good.
Pretty
So
good.
yeah, that's good to hear. And so you guys are coming off a 12-3 record last year.
Mhm.
The winter season is starting soon. What do you guys expect this year?
You know, we have some goals. First goal, go undefeated, beat our rivals, Kearney and Bayonne. Second goal, win the county championship. Third goal, make this do great in the state sectional.
Good team. Other than yourselves, that you guys are expecting to do good this year or help chip in on the success.
Well, we definitely have a good team this year. Definitely more chemistry than we had last year. But we have Gavin Rutledge, who's also a senior, who switched styles from one-hand to two-hand last year mid-season, and it helped his game a lot. We also have my brother, who's a junior, Luca. And we have Xavier, who's a sophomore, I believe, this year, who really stepped up his game this season.
Yeah, we also have some good prospective freshmen.
Mhm.
Got a lot of good starts.
We had a lot of like up-and-coming players last
Up-and-coming
season.
players.
So those games that we were like working on our craft and stuff like that, I think it's going to be much better this season.
A lot of grind over the summer, a lot of work getting put in by
Mhm.
everybody.
So we got a bunch of young guys. You're saying a lot of young guys coming up.
A lot of young
Come on.
guns.
Young guys.
It's good for the
Mhm.
future. And another question. I know it's an underappreciated sport, our school, bowling. Can you
Yeah.
explain to our viewers like how scoring system for bowling works and how it works as a team? Because we know we've seen on like pro level, you just see kind of like just individuals. So how does it work on a team level?
Right. In the high school level, you would have 5 players versus 5 players in a high school format. And there's 3 games. First game. Every game, you would take 2 points. And total pinfall is 1 point. So you can get up to 7-0 against the team. You can get 5-2. So the way you get a 7-0, win all 3 games, and take total pinfall, you would get 5-2 by winning 2 games and taking pinfall, and vice versa. That's how you would lose.
All right, so that's how the scoring of bowling works. So now we've been expecting, like you said before, one of your goals is to make the state playoffs and also win Hudson County. The NJSIA has a new playoff format this year. Could you guys kind of delve into that?
Right. So how it worked last year, the teams are split up into like sections and groups, and we're part of a group of people around like Northeast. And how it works for bowling is you would have total pinfall of all the teams combined, game 1 and 2 and 3, all 5 players combined. And the top 2 of your group would advance to the state final, and the top 1 would win your section, would win the sectional blue title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Works. And then you got the returning coach, Mr. Metafro. Can you guys describe like how he is as a coach with you guys?
He's a good coach. He's a good mentor. You know, he always keeps it pretty positive. You know, but last season, I believe I have a pretty great understanding of the game. Even though I've only been playing for 3 years, I kind of picked it up pretty fast watching and stuff like that. And me and Andrew are actually a pretty big help. Helping like play their form and stuff like that and their technique because you know, Mr. Menafra has to he has to deal with kind of coaching the whole team. So like on the side during practices and stuff, me and Andrew kind of help out with like individual players, and it works out.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear. And now coming up on our last kind of couple questions. Last year, 12-3, like we said before, the only 2 teams that you guys lost to were Kearney and Bayonne. How are you guys gonna be able to bounce back and beat your Hudson County rivals this year?
Yeah, we've been putting in a lot of work. We've been working on our errors. You know, what I like to think of, you either win or you learn, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of problems stem from the mind. Some problems stem from your physical game. Just got to improve on what you're lacking.
Yeah, a big part of it is like this game is a lot like golf, and like they're 2 sports that are underappreciated, but they have a lot in common because you know, like a lot of it can be up to the conditions of the of the greens, like the lanes. So it's a very technical game, and yeah, I mean we've been working on our form as a team for like a while now. I mean, you could say the past few years, and I think this year we got it in the bag pretty well. So I honestly think that we can go undefeated if we work as a team.
We have a really good team. We make really good chemistry. We've been putting in a lot of work, and I just think we're going to be even better by the time we play our rivals.
All right, it's good to hear. So overall, high expectations, and we're hoping just wins in general, and hopefully go undefeated, like you guys are saying.
Major goal.
Major goal.
Pretty much.
All right, well, thank you guys. Thank you, Andrew and Rocco. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening to the State of Marauders podcast. And
Thank you.
Bullying interview.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you once again to Iggy for the interview, and I also want to thank Rocco Barone and Andrew Diaz for coming on and giving us their perspectives, their analysis on the upcoming bowl season. Again, they're taking on beloved charter Hudson Lanes. All right, today 4:30. So if you can make it out, again, there's no school. So if you can make it out, make sure you come out and support your bowling Marauders. Well, we had a surprise, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. The AD, St. Peter's Prep, Rich Hansen, is going to now join us to dissect everything that happened with the fall season and, of course, preview the upcoming winter season as well. So, the AD's Corner is going to be sponsored by our good friends, okay, at the Chalk Talk Podcast. Yes, the Chalk Talk Podcast. All right. So let's listen in to Iggy and Jackson as they talk about why you should be listening to the Chalk Talk Podcast.
I'm Ignacio Mara alongside Jackson Briamonte. And, we're just here to promote an advertisement. Jackson, would you like to explain what the advertisement is?
Yeah, so we're here promoting our podcast, Chalk Talk Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can find your podcasts. We also have socials such as Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You want to follow those for additional content along with the podcast. Challenge videos, trivia videos, all that good stuff. We're just two friends that talk sports. We have interviews, cover the latest news, do hot takes, just all the good stuff in the sports world, getting it out there for you guys to listen and enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're just debating, hot takes, all that, and we'll be covering some Marauder sports this year too. So just check us out. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Chalk Talk Podcast. Enjoy the rest of your event. Chalk Talk out.
Thank you again to Iggy and Jackson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the time we've all been waiting for. Here is the AD's Corner. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another segment of the AD's Corner. Again, we're joined by the Athletic Director at St. Peter's Prep, Rich Hansen. Rich, welcome back on the podcast. How are we doing today, buddy?
Doing great, Renato. Good to talk to you.
Good talking to you, too. The fall season has come to a close. We're going to talk all about everything that happened this fall. I'm going to start off, Rich, talk about our soccer team. They had an amazing run, 17-4 Hudson County champs for the first time since 2019. Talk to us about your thoughts overall on their season.
Well, obviously, winning is great, and I think they did an excellent job, not just during the season. I think this season was a product of 12 months of work. They play in their clubs, they strength and condition, they worked all summer, they got together as a team in the summer. And I thought the coaches did a good job of orchestrating that. And, listen, not every game was a blowout. Obviously, it's soccer, but they found a way and took 2 out of 3 from Kearney. And obviously, championship game was really exciting. And then we were able to come back and get St. John Vianney. And, I thought it was a really good season, fairly young team as well. So,
right.
So that's, it's all positive. I thought Coach Jontis, milestone season for him as well. So I think overall, really, really positive soccer season and great things to come.
Yeah, a lot of great moments, including that Josh Jansen's breaking John Irvin's record, the Hudson County Championship. But to me, Rich, I think my favorite game to at least color was the St. Benedict's game and how close this Mora team came to beating the number one team in the country. That was a crazy game.
Yeah, I was excited, and kudos to Josh for wanting the game. We had a long discussion about it, and he was on board. He wanted to play the best, and he knows that these kids have a chance to be really, really special. And this was a special season, but I think in the back of his mind, maybe building on what we were doing now to get to what we did this season, but also set the tone, plant the seed for next year and beyond. So, kudos to him, and the kids did a great job, and we had every opportunity in that game.
You talk about Matt Saburo, he was nominated Player of the Year in Hudson County, so he had a tremendous double-digit goal and assist for him. He was spectacular for the Marauders.
Yeah.
Also talking about – what were you saying?
He's a fiery guy. Matt's a fiery guy with a lot of
Matt
passion.
A lot of passion for sure. And also, there's some other great guys from the team this year, including Philip Cyro. Again, he's only a freshman, so I want to see a lot of him next year. Also, you had Andy Mayorga being a first-team forward, John Carey, a lot of good seniors on this team that they're going to lose next year. But again, a lot of young guys on this team. I think they're ready to step up next year as well.
Yeah, I had a good mix. They had good senior leadership with talent, and they had a really, strong underclass group. And, you mentioned Phil. He's got a chance to be so special. He's going to master the mental part of it, and that all comes as he matures in the high school game, and I think he will. But there are a lot of young guys there that are talented and are going to contribute in great ways.
So they have a good program moving forward, Rich. Also talking about cross country, again, another spectacular year for those guys. Again, winning Hudson County champion for, is that the 7th time in a row?
Yep.
Something like that. Yep. I mean, they've been phenomenal. All three phases, fall, winter, spring. Those guys are always just doing the best.
Yeah. Well, they work hard. I think as with any good program and any good team, in our school, those guys have a passion for their craft. They take it personally. They train really hard. They don't limit it to seasons. They train all year round. And obviously, winning the county is great. They want to get to the next step. I know that that's a big goal for them.
Right.
I think we finished 9th in the state, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Made it to the MOCs again, which is great, and had a great showing. So, we're never far away from that type of performance in cross country, indoor and outdoor track, for that matter. So nothing they do surprises me. Really excited about their work ethic, as I said, and I think they have a good chance moving forward to be special.
Yeah, Tommy O'Brien had a great overall individual year. Talking about Jesuit championships again, back to back. I think it's the first time a team won back to back since I think late 90s, early 2000s, something like that.
Yeah.
So it was a great historic year again for cross country.
Yeah, Tommy O'Brien had a great year, and again, just a kid who it's important to him, and the Rocks guys.
The Rocks, yeah.
The list goes on and on. They're just they love what they do, and they put a lot of time and effort into it. And usually when that happens and you're talented, you're going to reap some big rewards, and they did. So, now we flip the page and they get to exhale for a few days, and now we go to indoor.
Right, and indoor is going to be a lot of fun as well. Before we talk about the winter, let's keep talking about the fall really quick. Again, water polo had a great year as well. Had a couple big wins early on. Struggled down the stretch a little bit, but again, they had a good season overall. Had those big wins, especially early on against. I'm trying to remember which team was that. Was it Fieldson? I think 1908. Yeah. Big one.
Yeah, they won a couple big early ones, as you said. I think they started off 2-0. Then it's not easy. It's not an easy sport, and
No.
they were competitive in just about every match. So I guess that's as good as you can ask for from a group, and as a coach, that's all you can ask is for a great effort. They did that. They worked hard. I don't think there are any complaints about the results. Would we have liked to won all of them? Of course, but the effort was really, really important, and the effort was always there. So I'm sure that staff is proud of them and excited to build on it.
Right, you got a big swimming season up ahead too for the winter as well. So it's gonna be good stuff for those guys as well.
No doubt.
And then lastly, Rich, that got to talk about the football team.
Yep.
Again, first round elimination from the state playoffs, the one win on the year. I mean, it was tough. It was tough sledding all year round. There was a couple of those games, especially earlier on this season, Rich. You thought, okay, some good first halves, and then just they couldn't put it all together. Right? It was just tough.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is kind of unprecedented stuff here. We're not used to this, but you're right. Some of those early opportunities that we weren't able to capitalize on, whether it was in Atlanta, DePaul, St. Joe's, Montvale.
The Delby game.
The Delby game was really frustrating, and I think in a lot of ways that kind of set the tone in a negative way for the rest of the season. I think the kids, were probably very, very frustrated by that loss, and at least from my perspective, just watching things kind of. It changed a little bit. The tone changed a little bit. Not the effort, not the preparation. But I think that losing that game that way can't help but take a lot out of you. And when you don't have a win up to that point, especially, it's even more frustrating. So, I said to the staff, usually when a team has that kind of season, and we sit down for a postseason meeting, I have 10 or 15 major concerns. And, my only major concern is I guess twofold. One is just the kind of season. That's a concern in terms of the record. But also, like winning, losing is contagious. And I think the biggest challenge for the staff and the head coach now is to make sure that we stop the bleeding and figure out a way. And I know we have a plan, and I know they have a plan, figure out a way to, learn from this, build on it, take our young guys and get them in the right direction, retrain their mind, because football is such a mental game. I'm not concerned about very many other things with the program. They're working hard. There's a plan in place. The kids want to be successful. The coaches are prepared. All the laundry list of things that normally go into a concern list at the end of a catastrophic season. Some of those things, most of those things aren't on my list for this program, not yet. And I think that there's a plan in place. Now it's a matter of executing it, and that's a big challenge. One thing I will tell you is, this. I haven't been the head coach for so long and been an assistant before that. I think and specifically, as a head coach, winning is hard. Winning in football in New Jersey and our deal, and it's hard. And one of the reasons why I couldn't take it anymore is because losing stinks, for lack of a word that I used a lot. Losing stinks. And winning was never enough because, you're thinking about the next game before you hit the sidelines.
Right. That's so true.
That's a mind game. That's a rough, mind game and mindset for a coach, but that's the only way to do it. So, and when you lose, the reason why I say it is because when you lose, that mental anguish of walking off the field and thinking about the next game coming off a loss is really, really challenging. And then to have to do it over and over and over, it's, you know, some of our non-championship seasons for me were the toughest ones to coach. And I'm sure, coach feels that way. This was in a lot of ways. He was, this was a fun team to coach because they came to work every day. Losing does take its toll, and losing, like winning, establishes a mindset, and that's the concern right now, that we make sure that mindset is not in place to have an impact on, moving forward. Freshman team had some players. We had some young guys playing varsity that in any other normal year would not be playing varsity, but that was the situation. So, trust me, I didn't expect a season like this, but I definitely expect a major turnaround coming up.
And they're now in the United White division too. I don't know if you saw that, Rich. They're going to be in the United White division now.
Yeah, I'm on the executive committee of the league. I saw.
I know.
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting now.
All switched over to the United White, and that's every 2 years is going to be movement. I think it's a good thing. It doesn't matter. Everybody plays everybody basically anyway. Right. We'll probably not play one or two of the United Red schools. I'm not sure who that's going to be yet, but I just think that's a natural progression, and it gives us a chance to catch our breath and get right to ship. So. But listen, there are no excuses. We should not have a season like this. That's not who we are. That's not what our DNA is. We spent, spent a lot of years putting this thing together, and so it's particularly frustrating for me. But it's not about me. It's about our staff now figuring it out, and this is going to be the most challenging, mentally and physically, most challenging off season this group has had for sure.
Mm-hmm. And you said about the successes, right? There were 8 guys named to the Super Football Conference All Division, right? So even though it was still a 1-win season, I mean, there's still a lot of great guys on this team, right? You had Cooper LaFon, Joe Assign first team. That was pretty good. Yep. You had Dallas Reese, Steven Ozama, Xavier Miles, Samad Bailey, Hassan Moore, and Marvell Davis as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of great guys on this team this year, and only 10 seniors total. So there's gonna be a lot of talent coming back next year. So
I think there's enough talent. I think there was enough talent this year at most positions. I think our depth was a concern. I think it might be one of the reasons why our second half performances was so lackluster. We had a lead in a bunch of games at halftime, and I think depth had a lot to do with that. Depth is a great thing until you have to use it. Depth is a terrible thing if you don't have any to use, and it was a terrible thing for us. So, that's going to be as big a part of this as this regrouping as anything else, is creating that competition in the weight room, competition and conditioning, getting guys ready to compete, not necessarily start, but to compete, legitimately be in a position to compete for a starting job. And whoever is not will contribute to that depth that we didn't have this year. So, like I said, a lot of challenges ahead for this staff, and I think that they're ready to go to war and figure it out, figuratively speaking.
So let's switch gears, Rich. Let's talk about the winter, right? We talked a little bit about, we got indoor track coming up, right? You got swimming coming up. But also, to me, I'm very excited to see this basketball and wrestling teams this year, because both these teams could easily be top 5 teams in the state this year for sure.
Well, I think they'll both open up top 5 for sure, for certain. I'd be surprised if they weren't. Listen, we can start with wrestling. These dudes are a different breed, man.
Oh, yeah.
I have so much respect for our wrestlers. They work 12 months a year. They train like nobody else. They believe in what they're doing, have great passion for what they're doing. We have juniors committing to college scholarships. This team is very talented. This team has good depth, and this team is still fairly young. So I think we're not that it means anything, but preseason we're 20th in the country, and we'll be in the top 3, 4, 5 in the state. It's going to be a really exciting year, and they have some challenging tournaments. But these guys are in tournaments all year.
Right.
We've had some good success. Kids have had good success individually already. We have some great things coming up. Some great tournaments coming up, starting with the Beast, and then first duel at home.
That's gonna be electric.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be an electric night. And for us, it's the day to kick off. What we know is going to be a great season. So people have to come out and support the wrestling team, get excited with the wrestling team, students, Marauder Nation. These guys are great guys. They're tough guys. They work hard. They're great on campus. And they're not a problem for anyone. They're respectful. They're good students. And we have a really good team. So I hope people come out and appreciate it and get excited about it.
Right, we're gonna live stream some of those matches to our home, so that's gonna be fantastic to get that live stream going as well. So
100%. Yep.
So then now basketball as well, same deal, right? I mean, the defending non-public North A champions, pretty much bring everybody back this year. It's gonna be, again, like you said about wrestling, it's gonna be a team to watch, especially now. You got Hudson Catholic in the middle of the year at the barn too. That's gonna be electric as well.
Yeah, we have some great winter home events. Hudson's obviously a good team as well, but our guys, we have some key guys back, obviously. Rich and Mason, Nico and Peyton. Peyton's a hell of a basketball player, man. We have some great newcomers, some young guys. We've got some guys who transferred over. So I think that this team has a chance as the season goes on, and they gel, because we do have guys back, but we do have quite a few new faces. I think they have a chance to be a very, very good team. We have some size. We have some kids who can get to the basket, ring the bell, and I think the only thing stopping this team is this team, and I don't think Coach will let that happen. They've worked really hard in the off season again, in the weight room, in conditioning. I watched a couple workouts with some college coaches, and college coaches are impressed as well. So I think this team is going to be impressive, especially as the year goes on, and the returners gel with the newcomers.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting stuff. So, do you have any final thoughts on some of the other teams, like ice hockey? You talk about swimming and indoor track too. What are some final thoughts as we go into the winter season?
Yeah, listen, we have the guys that are the staples, right? So swimming and indoor track, are going to be lights out. They're gonna have great seasons. I'm confident that we'll be able to contend to win the county, and I'm confident that we'll move on and compete really, really well in the states. And I'd love to see swimming break through. And I think they have a chance to do that this year. I really do. Ice hockey is going to be improved. I met with coach and the staff a couple of weeks ago. I think we have some unique challenges with facilities because of some closures, but I think that the team we're gonna be improved, and I know the coaches believe in that and are excited about it. So, ice hockey is an important program to us. Swimming is a staple. Bowling, coming off a county championship year, and
right.
We open up tomorrow, Monday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get over. I think we have Beloved.
Beloved try to get
Beloved tomorrow. I'm gonna get over and watch them, I think. And I'm excited about I'm excited about everybody. I think everybody has a chance to be ultra competitive, and I think my goal for all of our sports is to be relevant, right? Like be in the mix,
Right.
competitive, be relevant. I think basketball can be relevant, wrestling can be relevant, hockey can be relevant. Hockey has a bunch of games in December, front-loaded games. I think they have a chance. Swimming will be relevant. Track will be relevant. That's just the way it goes. And I think everybody in the program is excited. I think they've worked hard. Fencing, we have home fencing matches again.
Oh yeah. Kick about fence.
Yeah. And I think if this is the first time in a while we've been able to put a full staff together and fencing,
That's good.
head coach and 2 assistants, and then we have some trainers at Cobra, so the kids are going to be getting a lot of attention. So I'm excited for them as well, and we have a really good schedule, competitive schedule. So I think everybody. Did I miss anybody? I don't think it. I don't think.
No, I think you got it. Yeah.
I think everybody's got a chance to be relevant, and I think when you're relevant, relevance breeds excitement, and when you get the barn rocking, whether it's hoops or wrestling or fencing, jumping in there, great things can happen, fun things can happen. It's a great environment, great place to come and watch the game and appreciate what's going on.
Well, Rich, again, thank you for coming on this week's episode of podcast. Again, thank you for coming back on the AD's Corner. That was a great recap of fall and then going into previewing our winter season as well. It's going to be a fun one. They're excited for the winter sports here at St. Peter's Prep.
Me too, buddy. It was fun. Thanks. We'll talk soon.
The great Rich Hansen, again, the AD, joining us with the AD's Corner. And again, I want to thank him once again for coming on. Truly, we appreciate and giving us his thoughts and analysis on everything that's happened in St. Peter's Prep in the fall and as we go into the winter season. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for another episode of the podcast. Again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. We're looking forward to recap our Bowling Marauders. Again, they're in action this week. They're going to have Beloved, as we talked about. Today, Monday, as you're listening to this. And they also got McNair on Wednesday as well. So we recap both of those matches, as well as continue our previews for the rest of the winter sports. Again, I'm Renato Rodriguez of the class of 2010, signing off. And as always, let's go. Well.